All right, welcome back everyone to Partnerships on Purpose. As always, we have a really fun topic for today. Anne Marie and I were just in the green room trying to figure out, how to present this because we have a lot of conversations about the right rooms to go in. If you have ever been a business owner in the online world, this is huge, right? Time is precious. We don't have time to just go into everybody's networking room. Obviously, we host a collaboration room, which we think is very amazing. We don't have necessarily time to go out to every single event that there is. But if you're listening to this, then you do know partnerships are super important. And to be able to create good partnerships, you have to have conversations with people. You got to get into the rooms. So we're going to open this up, give you some thoughts a little bit about how we decide which rooms to go in, how we ask the right questions of people to make sure we are getting the most out of our time. And Anne Marie will tell you about this about me, but uh, my time is very precious, as is everybody's, and I'm very intentional with not only the time that I spend with people, but how I plan my time afterwards, if that makes sense. We're huge on follow up. So if you go to a room, you want to follow up. Anyway, I'm going to open up the floor. Anne Marie, I got a question for you because we were just talking about this. When we get the question about the invite, maybe we get an invite. Somebody asks us, "Hey, do you want to come to my networking event? Hey, Anne Marie, why don't you just join us? Come with us." I get a group of people together. It's very curated. It's very amazing. Um, how do you make the choice whether you go or not? And I'm sure every person listening gets this all the time. You get 5,000 invites every single week. You join my room. How do you decide where to
Yeah.
go?
Um, so I'm going to back up just a little bit. I get on average 1 to 2 invitations a day
To go to
to
a
go into,
networking
yeah,
event?
to go to a
Okay.
networking event. I'll wake up in the morning and it's literally like either an event that I've been to before or a new
Mm.
event, or it's on my LinkedIn as an event. So, very much like you, I love networking. I love meeting people. I love connection, but I want to be very mindful about where I'm spending my time and who I'm spending my time with. So, um, so I have a couple of different scenarios. If I get it by email and I've never heard of the person before in my life, which happens, believe it or not, the first thing I'm going to do is look them up on LinkedIn.
I think this is huge. Okay, this is a huge thing because we talk about this with
Yeah.
our clients and with our partners.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing partnerships,
Yes.
you have to be out there. You have to have an updated profile. You have to have a website.
Yes.
You have to have something. It doesn't have to
Yes.
be perfect, but I'm just going to pin this because we do this for other people. The assumption
Mhm.
is they're doing the same thing. So you go to LinkedIn and you take a look at them.
Yeah,
Then what are you
take a
looking
look at
for?
their profile, take a look at whether or not they've posted about their event. And then you kind of do some digging, right? So if they posted about the event, and most people do, so this is just a little tip, everyone, they'll post a picture of who is in the room. I always click on that picture. I want to see who is in the room. Now, the idea is that I'm going into rooms where I can meet new people, right? Not meet the same people all the time. It's not about
Mhm.
the quantity, it's about the quality of people, it's about different people. So I will always take a look at that room and I'm like, if I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I don't know a good portion of these people, that's going to kind of check one of my boxes. Obviously, I also look at the time commitment. I'm very much like if somebody's hosting a 3 hour event, it's probably not going to happen. I'm
Especially
kind of
for the
like a
first one.
yeah,
You
yeah.
don't, if
I'm
you're
like
getting a
a
cold invite to a
yeah,
host you don't
yeah,
know, into a room you're not sure of, and now you've
yeah,
committed 3 hours,
yeah,
that's a lot.
yeah, yeah. 60 minutes, 90 minutes max is what I'm looking at from a time commitment. So if it's a cold invite, it's coming in by email. Those are the things that I do. I look at that. I'll look at their website, I'll look at who they're connected to, because that's also very important when I'm looking
Mm,
at them on LinkedIn. Do we have mutual connections? Looking at their profile, right? What space are they in? Does it make sense for me from a business perspective? To put myself in that room. So, depending on that, and obviously, if I'm available, then sometimes either I'll ask to get on a call, and sometimes if I'm really interested but I'm not sure, I'll actually have just a quick connection call with them.
mm,
Um, the majority of the time, I'll be honest, I'll say no if it's cold.
yeah.
And I'll say no. Like,
But I think that's
um,
good, right? Like if you're getting a cold DM or a cold email saying, "Hey, come join my room," and there's no background or preface,
yeah,
like you already probably have your two or three other invites that are
yeah.
coming from warm referrals, I would assume.
Yeah, exactly. So now if it's a warm referral and I'm on a call with somebody, that's really different, right? That'll be somebody either saying, "Hey, I host this event." And then I'm not going to say, "Yes, I want to come right away." Well, tell me about your event. Who's in the room? What do you guys do? What do you talk about? How often do you host it, right? So those are the types of questions that I ask. What's the format of the event, right? Because often that changes the like how an event is run is very important. Like I personally have been in a lot of rooms, but I hate when I have to go into a room and they say you have 90 minutes to tell us about yourself, what you do, and your offer. I hate it with a passion. I've been to so many events like that, so I know that I don't thrive in those rooms. I get nothing out of it, so I rather just not put myself in those rooms.
Mm,
So it's really important that you understand what type of events what style of events you like to be in, where you thrive the most, what can you contribute, what value can you give to those events. So if I'm having a conversation with somebody, I'll ask those questions, right? And then obviously, I'll say, send me the link. I'll take a look at it. If it works in my calendar, then, yes. Often at times people don't host their own event. So they'll say, "Hey, you know what? I know about this event. I went to this event. It's such a great room." Obviously, the referral ones are the ones that I'm interested in because that, like, it's like, "Hey, these people have been to this event. They made some great connections. I'm going to check this one out," right?
hmm.
Obviously, do my due diligence, but I think those are the best rooms. The other thing I would say is attend once, always go back, because it's not always you go to that first event. I was just talking to Marie before. I went to an in-person event here locally, and the first event I went to was great. I loved it. I came back. It was amazing. I felt good. A couple months later, I went back to this event. I didn't have the same feeling. And I actually made the decision that this wasn't the room for me. So, I think it's important to go feel the vibe, feel the energy, see the people, and then make a decision of like, okay, great, this worked. Do I go back? If it doesn't, and we always say this, trust your gut instinct. If you're not
Hmm.
feeling it, just don't go back.
Just let it
Um,
go.
yeah, if you're feeling it, then give it another chance and see. So obviously those are the two things that I do when people come to me. But I
Hmm.
think it's important to ask the questions. Don't just commit, ask the questions and then ask yourself questions. Does it make sense for me to be in this room? What can I contribute? What is the value? What am I going to get from it? What do I want to get from it?
Well, that's what I was going to say is like for you to be able to answer all these questions about an event and an invite, and we're talking about obviously networking events, specifically to be able to meet other partners, right? That's what we want to do. We want to expand our network, we want to get referrals. You have to know what your ask is. We don't usually work with people unless they actually have some kind of system, process, sale, whatever they're asking for. They have to have that solid. And then once they do, they need to know what they need from those referral partners or those affiliates if you're looking for those or whatever. We don't usually go to networking events to look for affiliates. We're usually there to look for partners, people who are interested in increasing visibility through working together. Um, but if you don't have that already outlined, I would say don't attend an event. We've had people before, I'm just gonna small soapbox. We've had people before who were like, I just want to be a fly on the wall. I just want to listen in. Nah, man, don't. No. here's the thing. If somebody's putting together a networking event and we host the networking, right? We have the collaboration room. We are very intentional about that. You're not sitting in a fly on the wall, right? We're putting you into a breakout room. You're going to have a conversation that's in there. You are going to have your ask. You're going to be doing things. You should have your video on. We'll link back to that one because we had a whole episode about how important
To
it is to
show up.
show up and to represent yourself. This is how you do that. But don't go into a room when you're just like, I want to be a fly on the wall. I think it's way better, like Anne Marie said, where, hey, I'm not quite sure about this event. Can we get on a quick 15-minute and make sure it's the right fit for me and the right fit for you? I think any
Yeah.
host that's out there is going to want to have a conversation and say, yes, let's have a quick chat. Nobody wants you to go in and just do nothing with your camera off, not
Hmm.
saying anything. They're going to try to put you in to connect or to breakout rooms or whatever. It's not the type of networking event that we look at. Now, there's definitely events out there that allow you to do that. You can be the little person in the corner. Those are usually 100+ person events, right? Or something like that. I'm thinking of a couple partners that we have that we know of. They have big groups of people. The chat is going crazy. People are just dropping all kinds of links and everything. It's not our vibe. That's why we
No.
created the collaboration room, right? We want people to have
Yeah.
conversation. Um, so know those are out there and maybe that's what you want, but either way, you have to know what you need to get out of it. And you only know
Right.
that if you know what your ask is and you know what
Yeah.
you can give and to contribute. Like you have to know what your partnership program is to be able to do that. And
Hmm.
have conversations with people. It's huge. It's massive. So
Yeah.
what else did
No,
you
I
have?
agree. I agree. And I think, you know, think about be ready when you're going into the room. If you're not ready, then don't go. Don't waste people's time. And I think that's the biggest thing. Some of the events that I've been to, I put myself in the room and then I look around and I'm like, oh my God, these people are not at the level that I was expecting, right? So now I'm having,
Mm.
I'm not going to say useless conversations, but I'm having conversations with people that I know are not going to go anywhere. So it's a very it's kind of maddening, I am gonna say, and
Well, it's
um
frustrating. Again, going back to like your time is precious.
yeah,
You
yeah,
blocked out 60, 90 minutes out of your day.
yeah.
If, we had talked about this, you're going to want to do follow-ups and stuff. You're going to assume there are going to be people in the room. So it does get kind of frustrating when you're like, you've had to reschedule things maybe. Like, so it's just a good use of time. And I would say, I want to talk about attending events as well, because we use events.
Mhm.
Any event we're attending is a networking event, right? Like if we're going to listen to speakers on the breaks, and I think most events now in person, this is what I'm talking about. In person, go to the event, fly on a plane, go to the thing. When you're going to an in-person event, it is about networking and you have to prepare yourself to do that. But again, you have to vet that room to make sure your people are there. We do this all the time. And I don't, I haven't been asked this by other people. What we ask all the time. This is one of those realizations where I'm like, do we do things differently? Well, yes, we do. Um, the thing we ask people all the time is which event was best for them to find more
Yes.
partners. We will ask people constantly, which event should we attend? And we ask our partners that we trust, like the people that are in our world consistently, our people that are in JV management spaces, we'll ask them. We'll also ask, like I was just on a partnership call right before this. Hey, what event or what mastermind are you in? What event are you attending? I'll ask the random people down the street, like, hey, where are you going? How's it going? What are you doing? Because I want to get their opinion. We know, I think, as business owners, that people put the best face forward on their website, right? The
1 million.
5 stars, everything loved it.
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't have any issues. Everything was great, wonderful. So when you get that honest opinion from somebody who is like, hey, I went to this event, really loved this, didn't like that. Now you can make a decision if it's worth your time to go
Yeah.
to that.
Absolutely.
What other
Absolutely.
questions would you ask?
No, I think it's not questions. I think
Okay.
sometimes, and this is what I've done in the past, is if it's a hybrid event, And just like Marie said, there's costs. There's cost, like most of the networking virtual events that you do will be either free or low cost. So it'll be $27 or $47, right? So you're like, hey, I can spend that if it makes sense. But when you're going to an in-person event, you have your flight, you have your accommodations, you have your food, you have your cost of the ticket. So it adds up. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what I've done in the past is sometimes if I don't have all that information or if I didn't get enough from people or I'm not sure, um, and there's a hybrid, so it's a virtual or an in-person, I'll attend the virtual one, right?
Mm,
Because when you attend the virtual one, usually the cost of the ticket is less. And then I'm like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to feel out the room. I'm going to see what the content is. I'm going to see what the flow is. Having an event background is probably not a good thing for people that are putting on events when I attend
right.
because I'm very like I check every little thing. But that is another way to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to check out this event, and if I love it, then next year I'll actually go out and fly and meet people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another consideration when you're thinking about those rooms. Um, the challenge is sometimes you're right. People put their best foot forward, and it's like it's going to be this and it's going to be that, and then they'll list like their target market on their website, and you'll meet like there'll be like 400 business owners there, and like, but they're all there for different reasons. So you went to an event, Marie. I'm gonna put you on the
Yeah.
spot. You went to an event last week, so you're obviously, what were you going to that event for? Obviously networking, we know, but
Mm-hmm.
what came out of it?
Yeah. So I did. I went to an event. Now I was very lucky. It was easier choice because it was in the city that I live in. So bigger event for a CRM that we use a lot. A lot of people use that. So it just made sense for me to attend. It was created to be a networking event. They put a lot of energy into the breaks that were there, and they had coffee that was out, and they created little tables, and they had the outside, like they created the space for people to chat in little groups and connect, which I think was huge. They also did curated dinners. So they were like, fill out this form, we'll put you in a dinner group. And then there were six people at each table that already had your same interests in there, which I really appreciate. So I'm going to attend an event that does have networking. Now, I was interested in the speakers, absolutely. There were so many good speakers, and I did go to the speakers and I wanted to listen in. I go to events because I want to see what the trends are, right? Like I went to the affiliate workshop. I went in to hear what somebody was doing to promote their book. Like I wanted to hear as an industry leader, like that's something that I want to continue to hear from other people. Um, and I think that it was intentional for them to do the happy hours and to have coffee and walks in the morning. Um, I would choose to go back to that event again because there was networking as a part of it. It would be very difficult for me to say yes to an event, even if I didn't have to fly there, that was just booths, right? Are you just walking around like a big venue? Like it's not created, even if there were speakers that were there or presenters that were there, I don't want to be talked at. I want to be talked, I want to talk with
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
So I would choose that. And we've been to events before in person where they do create space where you can have connections. In our world, that's the standard. You're going
yeah,
to have networking. You're going to have to create it. People want to chat. They want to get together. They want to talk. And if you can set it up with coffee and tea, Anne Marie's a big proponent of this, so you should go. But you should have some kind of beverage there for people to have lemon water, whatever, and connect. So um, biggest thing for us, I guess, in this whole episode is around asking people which room to go to. Get feedback from the people who have actually attended and create a safe
yeah,
space for them to give you um, honest feedback about it. You will almost always get it. If you ask somebody one-on-one, hey, you went to this event, what did you think? They'll tell you the things that they like, but they'll also say, and it didn't quite fit because of this. And
yeah,
what we also often hear is the people that were in the room were not what they was presented. And that's hard. That's hard for you to
yeah.
say yes to and to join in. Um, so anything else you want to add before we finish up?
No, I think, you know what, you touched on this a couple of times. Your time is valuable.
Yes.
And it's okay to say no. You don't have to go to every event. So ask the right questions. And if you're feeling it, go. If you don't feel it, don't go.
We give you permission, friends. If you don't
Yeah.
feel it, don't go. All right. Well, we will see you on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.